Good. Good evening, ladies and gents. If you can see my screen and you can hear my voice, please do raise your hand on the Zoom application. Apologies for being late. I had tech problems. Computer didn't want to run properly, so I had to restart it. Anyways, let's have a quick look. See, hopefully, thank you, hands coming in plenty. Guys, if you have chat requests or questions, feel free to pop them in the question in the chat box and the Q&A box. I will be monitoring those as we get along. And if it's not time sensitive, I'll get to it in the end. So Eurostoxx 50, let's look at what's happening on the S721. Get rid of those. I believe Simon is still long. Eurostoxx 50 looking very, very good. Broke a significant level there at 4,200. I think we did speak about this level last week, looking quite well. Let's look at the UK 100. Also looking quite well, hasn't triggered the stop yet. So the stop loss is the close below, that's 21 simple moving average. So for now, it's close below that 7-day simple moving average. So I believe it's still long there. Let's look at the S&P 500. Looking very, very nice, and I believe is still long. Also, the S&P 500 looking quite, it smells like a bull market, man. The stocks are running in the US. Similarly with the NASDAQ 100, also looking like it's flying high. Hong Kong 50. I think he got stopped there a long time ago, and it looks like it's going to trigger a short. But I know Simon is not does not trade on the short side of these indices. And lastly, NAFTA 50. Also triggered a short, let me see. Yeah, triggered a short there. That would be the confirmation, but I know Simon does not trade on the short side on these indices. But yeah, so I got stopped on Old Mutual. And also momentum, I think I got caught by a dividend. I'm not 100% sure if it was or some sense announcement, but I got stopped by a big giant candle. Yeah, that gap there, I do think it's I just didn't have the time to have a look see, but I do think that gap was a dividend. If anyone can, if anyone has some better info on Old Mutual, can pop that in the chat box or the Q&A box. Let's bring back those there. Let's do that. Looking at the open trades. There you go. Oh man, come on. Yeah, it's starting to look like it's going to be a busy week on the long side. Stocks are looking quite pretty well. I think the sell-off has come to an end. I think we're going to see some run up into stocks. not 100% sure how far, but we will get ABSA holding the support of that ascending triangle pattern. So if we can get it close through that 50-day exponential moving average, that will be a good trade, except that I do have a position higher, so I won't be entering there. So the level that I'm waiting for is a close through that 154 level. If we can get it close through that 154 level, I'll raise my stop and add to the position. In Aspen, it looks like the party is over. It broke below that support of the ascending triangle, but let's wait and see if that 50-day exponential moving average will protect the price from further decline. But at the moment, not looking too great. And I think I will be defended by the 50-day exponential moving average somewhat, but let's wait and see on Aspen. But there's a good chance there I am going to get stopped with a decent profit, about 20% on this trade. So not too bad, right? It was a good trade, but let's wait to see. Can't count the chips while at the table. So let's wait and see if we get that stop loss is going to get triggered, or we're going to continue to trend higher. Astro Food looking quite good, making a higher low. Computer is not responding quite well today. Making a higher low, seemingly forming an ascending triangle pattern, which is one of the reliable chart patterns. Nice ascending triangle pattern forming there. I'm looking for a breakthrough that 186 level, and then I'll raise my stop to around that 174, 173 level, unless, of course, there's a much better place to place a stop. But I think that 173 looking quite decent, and I also think that 50-day exponential moving average would have caught on if the stock does indeed break that 186 level. Hello World got on the go. I think it was added to the position yesterday. We did had a break, tiny break there on Friday. Tiny break on that ascending triangle pattern. I entered on Tuesday. Looks like we on the go on the stock. So now I'm waiting for a close through. I'm waiting for a close through that 133 level, which is an old resistance level. If you zoom out a little bit, you can see there it's an old resistance level. So I'm waiting for a breakthrough that 133 level, and then I'll add to my position and raise my stop behind me. Bitcoin in consolidation mode. So I'm waiting for a close through that 335 level, guys. I do apologize for this computer reacting super slow today. I do not know why. So I'm waiting for a close through that 335 level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just around the 322 level. And if you want to place a target, that 352 level is not too bad a place to have a target there, but I will then look for a break close through that level subsequently. Bitvest broke out of the following wedge with the gap and drive yesterday. I started building up the position this morning at the open, closing through the 50-day exponential moving average. Now I'm waiting for close through 204. If we can get it close through 204, I'll raise my stop to just below the 50-day exponential moving average and add to my position. Bitverse is starting to look fairly nice at the moment. Richmond had a new high close, closing at 191 yesterday, breaking that round bottom there. Today, nice bullish engulfing candle actually. I did add to the position and raise my stop to that 175 level today. Yeah, looking quite good. I will draw some boxes around these. Let's actually do that. In fact, so when a stock starts to break into new highs territory, I like using the box theory by Nicholas Davis, one of my favorite chart patterns. So yeah, the theory is that the stock will bounce through up and down in the box, and then when it breaks through the higher box, you then add to the position. Yeah, Richmond looking quite good. So when it breaks through the 204 level, I'll raise my stop to somewhere around that 186 level in that in that 185 to 190, 192 to 192 bucks when it closes through that 204 level. Richmond looking fairly decent at the moment. Discam also looking quite nicely, breaking out today. I will be adding to my position. I'm going to raise my stop to around the 30 and 85 level and add to my position. Looking quite decent. Nice head and shoulders pattern there. I did write about this the stock on Stocks in Play this week. You can check that out on VillageTrader.coza. Nice head and shoulders pattern breakout there. Discount looking fairly quite decent at the moment. Still still struggling to jump back into struggling to jump back into the higher box. Still a bit of a tug of war between buyers and sellers there around that 50-day exponential moving average. But I will only add to my position once it break above that. What is it? 193 level. Because my stop loss will then be higher than my last entry point. On Distel, because I did the last time I put up a position here, it was quite a sizable one. So yeah, I'm raising my stop loss behind me nicely there. Glencore slipping back, I suppose into a lower box, but finding some support around that 73 Rand level. I'm going to wait for a close back above that 79 Rand level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop. For now, my stop loss, I'm targeting that 72 Rand level, but I suspect that I will get a much better level between now and a close through that 79 Rand level. Investec. Entering a higher box yesterday, I did add to the position and raise my stop to that 65 rand level, looking quite decent at the moment. I'm starting to seem like a one of those big ones. I'm sitting at a decent profit here on Investec at the moment. Ooh, that looks quite close. That was close. That was close. It did trade it like it was breaking that 24 and 83 level today. Let's wait to see if we can get that close through tomorrow. If we do, I'll raise my stop to 23 and call it 23 and 35, and then add to my position and wait for it close through that candle there. If we can take up that candle, I'll add again to my position and raise my stop behind me. Looks like the medical stocks are looking quite decent at the moment. Nice gap and drive. Yesterday on Mediclinic looking quite good. I'm now waiting for a close through that 77 rand level, but I do suspect that I will even get a much lower place to add to my position. But I'll be monitoring. For now, I'm looking for a close through that 77 rand level, which is an old resistance level. Let's have a look at MTN. It's holding the ascending triangle support, looking quite good. Holding that 50-day exponential moving average as well. So I'm waiting for close through that 143 rand level. If you can get it close through 143, I'll raise my stop loss to just underneath that 50-day exponential moving average, around 132, 132.70 or so. Yeah, MTN is one of those trades that seems to be proving the trend following theory, looking quite decent at the moment. Let's have a look at Nedbank. Again, found some sellers there at that 180 level. Seems like that 180 level has quite a strong resistance at the moment. So I'm going to wait there for a close through that 180 level. If you can find some words, if you can close through 180, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to that 169 level, just below that bullish engulfing candle there, just below that 50-day exponential moving average, or perhaps just between that gap there. But we'll see how that 180 level holds up between now and then. Nepira Castle. Yeah, looks like buyers are finally starting to win that tug of war around that 50-day exponential moving average. Let's wait and see if that 106, 105 level will be taken out. If the stock can close through that 106 level, or add to my position and raise my stop to $100. Starting to let's wait and see if we can take out that 106 level. Platinum stocks starting to look a bit bullish again. I did pick up something there on Implat as well, and Anglo Gold Ashanti, looking quite good. Nice bullish flag there with the golden cross behind it. Nice decent wind at the back. So now I'm gonna it almost even triggered the next level I was waiting for. It did trade through it though, a little, just tiny bit, but close below it. So now I'm going to wait for a close through that 258 level, at which point I'll also raise my stop to and add to my position and wait for the close through. There you go. Through to 275. These platinum stocks starting to look quite interesting. I did have a quick gander. We'll get to it in a moment. Pepco moved into a higher box, looking quite nicely. Now just waiting for this computer today. For a close through around the 25 rand level on Pepco, and then I'll raise my stop and add to the position. Pick n Pay broke out of the ascending triangle pattern with a new relative high close there. I added to the position with not much gap between the two buys, which means my average buy price is quite tight. Didn't raise that much, which is nice to see at times. Remgrow. So Remgrow broke out of the bullish flag, but closed with a red candle. But I'm waiting for close through that 140 level, which is that high close there. So looking a little bit wobbly at the moment, but that 140 level looks quite interesting. If you can go to close through that 140 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop behind me, perhaps around that 132 rand level for now, unless of course the market gives me a much better level to raise my stop loss to. Very much. Rand mentioned had a gap and drive yesterday, closing through the 42 rand level I was waiting for. Coming back to it and holding it as support today, looking quite decent. At the moment, because of the volatility in the stock, I'm just going to wait for a close to that 47 rand level, which is a level of significance previously. Sunlam holding that 200-day exponential moving average, coming back above that 50-day exponential moving average, looking quite nicely. I'm still waiting for a close through that 64 rand level. At the moment, I'm looking at the 60 rand level to place my stop loss, but I do suspect that I'll be raising my stop perhaps to around below the 50-day exponential moving average, because I'm expecting a bit of reaction once the stock reaches 64 rand level. I'm expecting the stock to come back somewhat, giving me an even higher level to place my stop, but we'll have to wait and see. for now. Sapi looking like it wants to run, but let's wait and see if that 47 rand level holds up as resistance. If we can get a breakthrough that, if we can get a breakthrough that 47 rand level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to, let's see, just below that bearish engulfing candle there, around 44 rand level. Sapi looking quite good. Sapi looking quite good at the moment. And then after that, I will then wait for a close through, come back when that resistance level there around 50 rand, 51 rand or so. Yeah, Enrich is asking about Sasso. Looking quite not too bad. Nice inverse hammer there, holding that 50-day exponential moving average. Looks like not a bad buy. Looks like not a bad buy at the moment. But I'm waiting for a new high close through that 298 rand level. And Enrich, I do think it's not a bad buy. But let's wait. Perhaps look at that. Let me zoom in a little bit. That resistance level. What price is this? See my computer today. Perhaps if you can wait for a close through that 263 rand level, if you can get it, wait for a close through 263, and make it, and use a stop loss of 252.80 or 252.70, just to give it a little bit more room if you want to start to build the position around that 50-day exponential moving average. Or you can target that's 298 rand level. That's not a bad risk reward ratio if you're trading along those lines with stops and target, with a stop loss around 252 and a 298 rand level target. Nice decent risk reward ratio here in Sasso. Good spot there, Elrich. Okay. Kosim Pila, I'll get to that question. That's a very good question. Kosim Pila is asking around my original balance and how I've been building this account over the period. I'll get to that in the end. Once we get through the chat, I'll park the question to the end. ShopRite looking quite nicely. I was waiting for a breakthrough that 186 rand level. I will raise my stop loss to that 178 level. Let's see if it took out, if it made a new high. It didn't. Only just. Or perhaps let me just wait for a close through that 189. If we can get a green close tomorrow, or add to the position with a stop loss there around that 178. ShopRite looking like it wants to get on the go again. Standard Bank, it looked like it wanted to break out of the bullish flag, but looks like it's struggling. So there is a good chance I'm going to get stopped there, especially if we take out that that low there, just below the 200-day exponential moving average. Yeah, it looks like the party is over before it started. But for now, I'm waiting for clues through that 146 rand level. If we do, I'll add to the position, but I don't. I do suspect on this particular trade that I will get stopped. But I won't preempt the move by closing the position before. But yeah, I do think I will get stopped on this one. Telkom moving nicely, moving quite nicely, breaking, it just keeps breaking higher, man. And also the fundamentals. I did write a piece on Telkom and check it out on villagetrader.co.za. If you can just search Telkom. I did write an article on Telkom, looking quite nicely. So I'm waiting for a breakthrough that 54 rand level. If we can break 54 rand level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below those two dojis there around that 49 rand level. I'm liking Telkom at the moment. Last but not least, guys, if you do have chart requests, feel free to pop them in the chat box. We'll have a look see before we transaction capital, testing the doors of the higher box, waiting for close to that 44 and 80, 45, call it 45, 44 and 90. If we can get a breakthrough that 44, that level, as it enters through to the higher box, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below the doji there around that 42.40 level. On transaction capital, looking quite nicely also at the moment, and then I'll add, of course, to the position. So that's it from the open positions. I did spot something interesting there on Implex. I will not necessarily trade. Let's do that. I will not necessarily trade this pattern because one of my criteria is not met. Rich is asking what happens if the CFD when a stock gets unbundled. What happened last time is cash was credited, the stock was sold, and then yeah, I think I got cash. I can't remember exactly the I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what happens, but I'll find out for you. We'll cover that next week. I'll come up with the answer for you next week on the series. Nice head and shoulders pattern there. If you remove that 50-day exponential moving average, looking quite nicely there on nice bullish flag at the moment. If the stock can close through that 200-day exponential moving average and break that neckline at 1600, 1663, if you can break that neckline there, there's a nice target at 2045 there, with a stop loss at just below that low of the bullish flag at 1468. Marlo is talking about Quilter. Yeah, that was a nice trade. On Quilter. Another nice one. You're welcome, quite Marlo. Let me pull that up quickly. Yeah, so the thesis was here when it broke that 21 rand level and closed through the 200-day exponential moving average. That was a nice just buy after they held that support there. But I didn't take the trade myself. because the 50-day exponential moving average is still below the 200-day. So I'm just waiting for close through 34 Rand level. If we can break out that 34 Rand level, which I think the stock will. I think the stock will. If you can take out that 34 Rand level, then followed by a golden cross, I don't think I don't think you should liquidate this position there, Marlo. I think there's still some legs on the stock. Perhaps you can take off half of the profits at the 34 Rand level and leave some on the table, because I do, however, suspect that there's going to be quite a bit of a bounce off the market will remember this level, but if they don't, well, there's some legs to follow. Another one was clicks. So there was a bullish bullish divergence pattern here, hence that line there. I just removed the oscillator. The stock today broke back above that 50-day exponential moving average. In fact, it's been breaking through, but I was just waiting for a green candle there. So we got that today. I'll start building this position with a stop loss just below that 200-day exponential moving average around the 263. If you wanted to target, that would be 306, but I'm gonna just wait for a close through the 306 level to add to my position. I don't take profits at targets. Another one that I spotted was Coronation. I'm going to be building my position on Coronation. Finally broke through out of the triangle. So typically the symmetrical triangle pattern should break out 2/3 of the way in if you project the triangles to the apex point. And if it stays for longer, it's likely to break out on the opposite end. And typically the symmetrical triangle pattern is a continuation pattern, so it was supposed to be continuing this downtrend here, but failure for it to break on the lower side 2/3 on the way in signals the reverse at the moment, which was the case after bouncing off that 50-day exponential moving average. So I'll be rebuilding this position with a stop loss there at 50 Rand on Coronation, and if looking for a target around the 56 Rand level is not a better place to place the target. But I'm just going to be waiting for a close through that 56 Rand level to add to the position. That's it in terms of trades for me. Let me answer Nkosi Spilo's question, which is a very, very good one. It says, it seems you have done very well. How much was your original balance when you began trading? So started this account last year when you started the series around August. My first deposit on this account was 1,000 rands. Let me just open that up a little bit. Was 1,000 Rand. I then proceeded to continuously add more capital as the series was going. The total amount that I've invested in this account was just a little over 10,000 rands over a period, adding to the account incrementally. So my strategy, or my secret in inverted commas in terms of being able to turn that 10,000 to around 18. Let's see if I can get my journal up. So I'm a trend follower. So I'm a trend trader. I trade with a trend. I don't try to call tops or bottoms. As you would notice, I don't have targets. I only have stops. So what that allows me is it allows me to stay with the trend for as long as possible, for as long as the stock is running high. I will stay with that stock and add to my position. So in the beginning, what's the biggest contributing factor to that is let's let me pull up the Distill. Distill is a great example of is around risk management. So I started earlier risking 2 to 3% of my account balance when the account was still really small. And then as the account was building up, and I had different rules then, as the account is building up, I started reducing that risks to now I'm trading at a 1%. But when I find myself in a running stock like Distill, once the profit, so what happens is I'll get on a position originally with an original risk of 1%, and as the stock is running in my favor, I'll add to that position and raise my stop so that the total risk on that portfolio, on that position remains 1%. So I do that irritatively as the stock goes higher, as it continues to break higher, add to the position and raise my stop, add to the position and raise my stop. And what happens is that as I'm raising my stop, the earlier trades, because I build them up as a combination of a lot of 1% risks positions, they start to build up. And the stock, as the stock runs, I'm now holding a much bigger position, which turns it into a very big trade. So the secret is here is quite simple. I cut my losses short and I let my winners run. And not only do I let them run, I add to my winners without necessarily adding to the risk on the trade, and which sometimes does turn profitable trades into losing trades. For example, if I begin a trade with a 1% risk and it goes higher, say by 3%, and I want to add to the position, instead of taking a 2% profit, I'm pushing the risk back to 1%. So if that last trade is the wrong one, I turned a 2% profit into a 1% loss, and that happens a lot. But from time to time, you find a stock that doesn't do that, that just runs and runs and runs, and all those small 1%, they build up, they add up over time, and you find that one trade like Distill, I first bought Distill. This trade is older than a year now. It's a year and a bit. And it's still going strong, man. It's still going strong. So I first bought it at 72.50, and I'm still holding at 100+% higher, because I don't have a profit target, and I keep adding to this position. I keep adding to this position. I keep adding to these positions, and at some point it becomes a significant position. If you get, you'll get a few right, you'll get a few right, and you'll knock it out the park. And that just therefore at the moment accounts for like 60% of my profits, which pays for the entire portfolio and then some, because my win rate is a bit low. But I could have done it a different way. I could have, hit target and grew. So I'm growing the equity more than I'm growing the balance. But if I was taking profits at target, I would have. Let me see if I can pull up Chrome, because my computer, I want to share. But if you on the video description, you'll find a link to the portfolio. To my portfolio, like my trading journal. You can have a look see at the numbers there. But I'm trying to put it up. We'll show you. I'll put it up just now. No, it's coming up. So with normal Andile is asking, how does my strategy differ from normal investing? Firstly, it differs on the instruments that I'm using. I'm using CFDs, which is kind of like borrowed money. And secondly, so with investing, I'll hold the stock for much longer without, even if it goes down 20-30%, I'll still hold. But with trading, I cut when it starts to go down. I cut the loss short, and if it doesn't run, I cut the loss short. But with investing, you have to withstand kind of for example, what happened with the PGM miners a couple of months ago, where they just all fell, which I took profits on most of my my PGM trades, and had I still holding those trades today, as opposed to investing. If I was still holding those trades today, I'll be holding them at a loss. So that's kind of why I don't. That's the key difference between what I do and normal investing. That's a good question. But I do in my personal portfolio, in my normal in my investing, I do kind of incorporate my trading methods, but I do that on a weekly chart because it's less noisy, and if a stock gets on trend on a weekly chart, that trend will last much longer. So I don't have to worry about the day-to-day fluctuations when I'm trading on a weekly chart, but I'm monitoring my longer term, the more stuff on the easy equities on the weekly chart, and I add in a bit of fundamentals. When with trading, it's just purely price. I don't look at fundamentals, and some of these companies I don't even know what they do. Let's see. Let me bring this channel. So I'm just loading up the trading journal just to explain how the significance of trend following and letting winners run, adding to winners, and what it does to the portfolio. Hey, my computer today is not playing ball. But if in the meantime, if someone else does have questions on, feel free to pop them up on the Q&A box, or on the chat box. I am monitoring both. Maybe refresh. $91. Let's have a look see at 91. I know I'm not trading 91 because of the volatility. Let's see. Looking quite nicely, looking quite nice. So I removed it from my watch list here because of this crazy wicks. This volatility just scared me. And it wasn't going to work for my strategy, but it's looking quite nicely. That breakthrough the that breakthrough there was quite significant, and it came back to test at 51 and 89 level, looking quite nicely. I would add to my position if I was holding this trade, when it closes back above, what is this, 53 rand level, with a stop loss just below these lows. But that strategy wouldn't work properly here because of this can happen at any given time. The volatility on, and I suspect it does have a little bit to do with liquidity as well. So I just stay away from the less liquid stocks. This is if there's no more questions, we can park it here. We'll look at this journal next week. It doesn't want to load. I do apologize for my computer acting up to today. I hope you guys still enjoyed it nonetheless. Okay, now it's back up. Let's see if it does work. Ah, all right, guys, it doesn't want to work. We'll see it next week. I will have it ready before the series so that we don't have these kind of problems. If there's no more questions, we can park it here. Thank you guys for the patience. The computer today was not playing ball. The video will be up on YouTube. As it looks like it wants me to just say goodbye and then it comes back. Let's see if it does work. It's not scrollable. The video will be up on YouTube later this evening, or maybe in a couple of hours. I have to see if this thing works again. I'll restart maybe even to tomorrow morning, but we'll see with a tweet. Guys, otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. I will do this again next week. Have a great evening. Cheers.